with that Korzybski quote, but it's worth quoting again.
Louder, please.
Okay. Okay. By the way, if you can't hear me, you can move closer, but then you'll stand and block out the others. That won't be good. All right, so this is what Korzybski said in Science and Sanity. And Alfred Korzybski was actually the founder of general semantics. And some of you probably are familiar with general semantics, but if you're not, Google it. So this is what Korzybski said, repeat what Land said. Poetry often conveys in a few sentences more lasting value than a whole volume of scientific analysis. And that's a high bar. So my poetry that I will read to you tonight, I'm not sure they'll get that kind of value, but I'm hoping it will pique your interest and you'll have some fun with it. So let me start out with, Is Everybody Happy? That's the title of the poem.
Make sure they hear you in the back.
Okay, thanks. I will try. In general semantics, we talk about the importance of distinguishing levels of abstraction. For example, understanding that more abstract words like love, justice, and happiness can be more difficult to comprehend without concrete reference to what the person who is using these words mean. So this poem is illustrative of that notion. Is everybody happy? There is no algorithm for happiness, but I asked Siri anyway. She replied, surveys say Switzerland is the happiest country in the world. Not sure why. Could be the chocolate, maybe it's the cheese. Buddhists say to attain contentment, one must overcome cravings for iPhones, Apple Watches, BMWs, and early bird dinners served until 6. Scientists have the ability to measure happiness, but not as well as novelists, poets, and my 95-year-old mother. Happiness is the only thing humans desire for its own sake, said Aristotle, to which Thoreau replied, joy is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. For Linus, happiness is a warm blanket. For me, it's a toasted bagel with peanut butter, jelly, cup of coffee on the side. Thank you. The next poem has to do with social media. You know, it seems to promote today the idea that you, who are using it, are the focus of everything in the world. That may be. Of course, to each of us, we are the focus, I suppose. But you might miss out on the, in quotes, news of the day. So this is the poem, My Witness News at 7. Today I was not raped in India, stoned in Pakistan, beheaded in Syria, abducted in Mexico, or blown up in Iraq. I did not appear on TV and tell the nation we need to get out of Afghanistan or do a rebuttal of that position. I was not accused of inside trading on Wall Street or robbing the chemical bank branch in Cobble Hill. I did not pitch in this afternoon's Met game when the New York Metropolitans lost to Cincinnati 20-1. I did not predict the cold front that came in from the east this morning or the warm front directly behind it. I did not receive an invite to tonight's Academy Awards ceremonies at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. I was not a winner in Wednesday's $100 million lotto drawing. No. Instead, I walked the dog, got on the train, sat through a meeting, made it to 5, then home with the wife. That's it for now. See you again tomorrow. Same time, same station. Okay, this one's titled The Thief. Now, it's easy to be seduced by passive media. Neil Postman, I'm sure some of you are familiar with him. If you're not, any book by Neil Postman's a great read. But he talked about something like this, and amusing ourselves to death, which is a good book to get. So let me start the poem. It's called The Thief. He sits silent in my living room, daring me to press his buttons so he can burble and babble his sweet talk to transfix my attention. I vowed to resist the urge, to tune in, turn on, watch. Not this time, pal. There are books that need to be read, calls that need to be made, floors that need to be cleaned, bills that need to be paid, thoughts that need to be reflected on in quiet solitude without the blare of the putative news of the day, commercial cackle, and whatever series shows lurk on my DVR. Just give me 5 minutes, he tells me telepathically. And sucker that I am, I grant the crook his wish and click the remote. And 5 gets you 10, and 10 gets you 20, and 20 gets you 40. And before you know it, there goes the evening. And it's such a crime that once again I've been duped by this cunning thief of time. Okay, so the next one, that's the end. This one's about what's called self-reflexive language, how often you can start saying one thing and things wind up not the way you intended to in conversation. I'm sure you've had the experience, I think we've all had the experience. So this is one of my experiences. It's called, How Could You? How could you put that dirty suitcase on the bed, she says to me, knowing I take rhetorical questions at face value, and reply to them in ways not always conducive to the facilitation of harmonious relations, but rather in a manner one might label harsh or insistent, and in so doing often escalate minor conflicts into nuclear war with the nuclear family. As thoughts about never getting a break from your germophobia, and how about next time you put away your goddamn luggage, zip along neural pathways in my brain's left hemisphere, and they get launched from my mouth toward a ticked-off spouse, which when they hit their mark can provoke counter-strikes from an incensed and outraged female that may include verbal pyrotechnics such as, only an imbecile would throw soiled baggage onto a bed, and how can you be so oblivious to your surroundings, followed by the silent treatment, nasty looks, the finger, and withholding of sex for indeterminate periods of time is of the essence in healing conjugal rifts. And as I like to chat with my wife every now and again, and as we both relish banquets of the body, more fully described and illustrated in the Kama Sutra and the Good Sex Bible, it was clearly counterproductive for me to have countered my partner's contention cum question concerning a contaminated suitcase with the comeback, it doesn't look dirty to me. Okay, that's the end of that. This is a quickie. Don't take things literally. Too literally. This poem is titled Thesis, Antithesis, Synthesis. Good morning. Bad evening. Middling afternoon. And I think the last poem I'll read, I probably should save this for October 26th, but I may not be here October 26th. It's a political poem. And it has to do with, I'm sure you're aware, that people often don't rationally think of political decisions. It's more emotional. Although that's probably not true in this campaign, but this presidential election, but sure it is. So the title of this poem is Make America Great Again. Vote for me! No, Make America Great Again. Anderson Cooper sticks a mic in front of my face on Central Park South in New York City, cues the camera, asks, why are you voting for Donald Trump? As if he cares about what a nobody from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn really thinks. And I tell him because my wife doesn't like the way I dry the dishes. My brother makes more money than me. The cops don't give tickets to double parked cars on Flatbush Avenue. My mother wanted a girl. There's too much litter on the street where I live. The subways are filthy. Mexico can afford to pay for the wall, and my boss makes comments to me at staff meetings. Uber drivers are creating more traffic in town. My father also wanted a girl. Taxes are too high. My good cholesterol is too low. Bruce Jenner, the world's greatest athlete, became Caitlyn. I like the idea of owning an Uzi and bombing the shit out of one's own enemies. And the elevator in my apartment building has been out of order for over a month. The First Lady would be a real looker. Kids are ruder today than they were when I was growing up. No matter how you slice it, the Yankees won't win the pennant this year, and no one is looking out for the white guy anymore. I have to wait 3 hours in the doctor's office before I'm seen. My bunions are killing me. There aren't enough cashiers at Rite Aid. My car needs a new engine. The government is the problem. Trump is the solution. The Chinese should also pay for the wall. And I haven't gotten a raise in 5 years. My cable service sucks. It's not what I say, it's what I mean. Roses are red. They grow in a region. If I had your face, I'd join the Foreign Legion. Einstein was wrong. God does play dice with the universe, and it's coming up craps. And Anderson says, that's a wrap. Thank you.